welcome to the 100 Women of Color in Jobs week 4. I'm so excited to be welcoming you to the 4th week, and this is like really interesting. Today's date is 25th of July 2025, and yeah, so about week 4. And today we'll be discussing something very interesting, which is your job search strategy, also accompanied with your target list. And for this particular live, we have like a theme that we are going to be bothering around, and that theme is don't spray and pray. So you need to target with strategy. Do you understand what I mean? So yeah, a little background about 100 Women of Color in Jobs, should in case you are new here. So we are running a 90 days challenge to help women of color get into the jobs that they deserve, and we're doing it together as a group of women, and I'm leading this particular challenge, and it's been fabulous. We have a couple of women already on the challenge, and we are trusting for more women to join because yeah, we are open like that. So anyways, let's get down to today's session. To my women of color, hello, beautiful women of color, and welcome to week 4 of the 100 Women of Color in Jobs Challenge again. So, I want to start by saying if you made it this far, I am incredible proud of you. I know I always say this, that the job search is the real ghetto, but you guys are doing so well. So that means that you've made it this far, you've been able to clarify your vision, you've reworked your CV, your LinkedIn, and you've learned how to speak about yourself with purpose. So that alone puts you ahead of many. So what that means is that by now, but now this week, right? This week, let's get into it. It's time to like get really serious about your job search. I'm not saying you've not been serious all this while, but we are getting serious within the challenge. So because too often I tend to see very brilliant women get stuck in the loop of applying to everything out of panic, frustration, or even pressure, and then it kind of becomes really, really overwhelming, and honestly, soul draining. If you've never experienced the loop of job search, you might not really get it, but it just take it as it is. It's a soul draining. You start second guessing everything. So yeah, this week is about breaking that cycle. We are not just praying and then hoping. We are targeting and then positioning ourselves alright. So for the goal of week 4, the goal is very simple. We would need, so the goal of week 4 is to help you adopt a focused, intentional job search strategy. So this focused and intentional job search strategy is going to focus on your long-term, help you adopt a focus, it will align your skills, your values, and then your long-term goals. And long-term goals is how I was starting initially. So your skills, values, and long-term goals come together like a mesh, and then this is the goal of this week. So no more sending out the same CV to 50 companies in one day. No more applying to roles you don't actually want. We are switching from random to deliberate, from just what's the word now, surviving, to being actually strategic in this direction. So yeah, let's see how we are going to do this. So this is more like a workshop, and that depends on how serious you are. So if you're like me, you can get your laptop. My laptop is right here, or you get your pen and your book, whatever you prefer, and then write down the workshop theme, which is don't spray and pray. You need to target with strategy. So you don't just spray your CV everywhere and be open and praying that someone gets back. So because let's be honest, many of us have done this, right? We've applied to every job we saw because we were desperate. But it's just so wrenching because at times you just have like automated feedback from some companies, we don't want to mention names, that just comes back and say, oh, sorry, you've not been selected for this role. And you're like, did you even read the CV? So yeah, so we are not going to be doing that. We've sent out generic CVs with no tailoring, and this is something that hasn't worked in the past. We've gotten ghosted. Some of us has gotten rejected or even entirely ignored. Have you, and had no clue why? Have you ever sent out CVs and then they never ever get back to you or come back to say anything? Well, sometimes or many times it's not even because you're not qualified. At times it's just because because you're not targeting some of the right jobs. And I promise you, I'm not putting any of this on you. I'm just saying some of these things happen. So this week's workshop is to help you turn that around by teaching you 3 core skills. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to just get everything ready as I tell you what these 3 core skills will be. Oh, by the way, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on your notification bell so that you do not miss any of our lives. And yeah, the first 3 of the 3 core skill will be the reverse engineer job posting. So not all job posting are created equal, but most are filled with clues. Listen to this. I'm an engineer, so I'm using the term reverse engineer. So you reverse engineer the job posting. Most job postings are very different, but most are filled with clues that could help. And this session will show you how to then spot the real requirement versus what the fluff is, right? And then that's number 1. How do you spot the real requirement versus the fluff? The second will be, how do you match your CV language to what recruiters are scanning for? I'm waiting for you to write that down. How do you spot the real requirement versus the fluff? How do you align or tailor or match your CV language to what recruiters are then looking for or scanning for within the CV? And then the third one will be, how do you highlight transferable skills you already have? So there are times that you feel like, oh, this particular skill does not match 100% of this job listing. How then do you now highlight this transferable skill that you already have? This would help you apply with confidence, knowing exactly how to present yourself as a solution that particular company, that organization, that social impact body, or wherever it is you're applying for are exactly looking for. So yeah, the second one will be to remember I said reverse engineer job posting, and I said this session will show you how to like spot the real requirement versus the fluff, and also how to tailor your CV to match the job posting, and then how to highlight some of this transferable skill. And then the final one will be that yeah, I think those are the 3, and yeah, it will help boost your confidence. The second one will be create your dream 20 company list. Don't forget 20. Yeah, your dream companies. I want you to stop looking at job search as a passive thing where you just have to wait for opportunities to appear. So instead, I want you to name and claim the companies you want to work for. If you want to work for what JP Morgan, name it. You can also categorize them into enterprise, scale up, startups. In that way, you'll have all of them categorized. Your list should include companies that like reflect your values or mission. I've said this kind of thing before, and people are just like, I just want a job, but that's really not true, because sometimes you get into this job and in 3 months you feel like you're in hellfire. Like you're in the middle of fire. It's like jumping from frying pan to fire, and you just be like, this is a bad one and I can't stay here, and now you're back to square one, which is not what we want. So please choose companies that reflect the values and the mission that you stand for. Next, also talk about the roles that align with your skill set and growth goals. You would also want to align with companies with a strong DEI culture. I think for me that is quite important to me, right? So yeah, companies with strong DEI culture, company with strong career growth, and it would be nice to have company with remote flexibility or hybrid flexibility. So plus, just name it, make it your personal preference. Places where you could see yourself thriving. These are some of the most important things. you need to write it out. It could include, like I mentioned earlier, startups, right? You could include enterprise. It could be social impact driven organization, or even the big enterprise guys, the Google, the Microsofts, the JP Morgans, the, I don't know what your desire is. So the key is to pick 20 companies intentionally and not randomly. Don't pick it randomly. Now let's go to the third one. Is for you to master LinkedIn jobs and alerts. So LinkedIn is, first of all, more than a job board. It's a visibility engine. So before we continue, okay, I showed us in our private session yesterday how to search for jobs on LinkedIn. And now we're about to talk about how LinkedIn is more than a job board, and it's more of an engine that helps you to be visible professionally. And I think I've been pushing for this for the last 3 weeks, right? For the women who have joined this challenge, and we've been on and on about posting online on LinkedIn, talking about what you do, things you stand for, what is important to you, and many you guys have done stellar work, and I want that to continue. So, how then do you use LinkedIn for what it truly is? How do you set job alerts for your exact role and location? How do you follow and engage with companies and recruiters strategically? These are some of the questions you need to answer to, yeah? You need to answer all these questions. How do you follow some of the companies that you're interested in? How do you engage with some of these companies? How do you follow recruiters strategically? And this one is really good. It's about how do you form warm connections that give your application context. So you need to align and network with people maybe within that particular company, give them feedback. If you're too shy, you need to mention why you're doing what you're doing in the next 90 days, and this is important. I need you to remember something, yeah, and that is that cold application works sometimes, but I promise you warm application work better. And when I say warm, I mean referrals, people who know you, people who can vouch for you. And we are on this journey to try things that we've not tried previously. It's not like you've not been looking for a job prior to this whole challenge. So let's try something different, be open. Right now I'm going to give you what this week's assignment is. Number one, build your target tracker. So your task is to create a job search tracker that keeps your efforts organized and focused. Don't forget the 20 list, everything I've mentioned. It's a workshop. You need to sit down and answer all the questions that are asked in different categories. Some of this you need to submit on the platform that we use internally, and others you just need to have it at the back of your mind. But this assignment is about what's the company name, the company names, the 20 company names. The second one will be what is your job title of interest, and titles in brackets, because sometimes, for take me for instance, people might call me senior front end engineer, they might also call me front end engineer, other companies might say UI developer, other ones might say product engineer. There's a lot, and some might say full stack engineer. We focus on front end, different kind of things. So just look for the titles that are like quite related to yours. Then the third one for your assignment will be the location. Do you want it hybrid? Do you want remote? Are you preferred to? Are you more in tune with in person? Also, your application deadline should be 90 days challenge. So we have July, August, and September. By September, we want to have wrapped this up with jobs offers. We want people to have multiple, at least one offer, right? But multiple offer would be nice. And also, you need to have contact person within these companies. Trust me, you don't need to know them. You just need to do their research, know the people that work there, strategic people, the HR behind that. Some of the people that work in the department that you are willing to join, some of them you've reached out to them, some you've not reached out. Just scribble down their names, scribble down their LinkedIn links. And then the application status. Have you started? Have you applied? Are you interviewing? Have we gotten to the offer stage where you just send to us on the channel like, I got the job, guys, I got it. So let's know what the process will be. And also, you could also have notes under it, like on the session, which is like CV tailored, I spoke with the recruiter, I'm waiting on feedback, all those kind of things. So it's like a tracker, that is your accountability tool. So you can then share it with your accountability partner, and definitely share it with me, because we need to keep each other accountable. So we need to look at this and see how you're progressing. And it helps you to stay consistent. It also helps you to stay motivated. It also helps you to stay data driven in your search. So you're not just everywhere, not really everywhere. One thing that I also would like to talk about, but not now, is that there might be, we'll get to the point, let me keep that. I would explain that later. But yeah, so your deliverables for the week I've already mentioned. You're expected to submit what this 20 company list is. You can share maybe a screenshot or your full tracker. I would approach it with like a Google Doc method, because that way I can just have the company name, title, location, application deadline, contact person, and all that, and then have everything listed below, and then the notes might be the very last row, right? So yeah, that's going to be your full tracker. That's your yeah. And then tailor your CV to at least one of those roles and share it in the group or with your accountability partner, or you wait for Thursday so that you can discuss what that looks like. But I would like you to start doing that on time, because you're already reaching out to some of these roles already, and we don't want to keep stalling. Time is of the essence. Yeah, so this is a key step in building the momentum that we need. I wanted that by the end of July, which is like next week, you already have a momentum that you're walking by. You're not confused. You know exactly your target. You know exactly where you're going. And by the end of the challenge, you will have applied to roles that are well aligned, not just random ones. I don't know how to put a number to it. It's all dependent on how well how well, what's the word, committed you are to all of this. I just wanted to touch on something on why this really matter, why this week really matters, why we are doing things differently this week, aside from all the visibility thing that we've been doing on LinkedIn prior. Because when you reach out to people, they're going to go on your page, yeah, they're going to look at what you're doing, and they want to see that, okay, this person is passionate about the work that they're claiming they do. They're passionate about the work they want to do. I need you to have a mentality that is not a self-pity mentality. You're not thinking, oh, do I have to do all of this just to get a job? Yes, just do everything you need to do. That's why it's a challenge. In the next 3 months, do what you normally wouldn't do, and then get the result you normally wouldn't get. So remember, it's about quality over quantity, and clarity over chaos. We're about to wrap it up here. And it's also about strategy over stress. And I mean, strategy, that's the entire reason we're here. So you're no longer just applying to jobs, you are pursuing the roles you were meant for. And this focus energy, I promise you, it gets results. So yeah, what's coming next? So next week, which is gonna be week 5, guys, are you excited? I know the excitement is more like, let me get my job VB, then I'll be excited. Trust me, it's a process, it's a journey. You get it. So for week 5, we're going to dive into interview mastery. I'm going to be talking about how to use the STAR technique that we had spoken about in the previous week. If you've not seen it, go and watch it. So you will need to actually land the interviews first to practice with this, because if you're not practicing if you don't have an interview, what exactly are we talking about? So next week is about mastering your interview. So I need you to I've gotten those interviews in the pipeline. You have like multiple interviewers and people who want to speak to you, so that next week meeting would make sense and we're not just doing things without direction. So yeah, don't just pray and then be praying. You need to choose your target. You need to do your research. You need to tailor your CV with love. I say love because that shows that you're very intentional about what you're trying to get, and then go after these roles like they already have your name on them, because why not? They probably do have your names on them, they just don't know that yet. As always, I am always cheering you on. I'm always there for any answers. You know where to reach me. You know you can reach me directly on the community platform, or you can send me a mail, whatever is um your preference. Share your job tracker with me, post it on the group, lean into feedback, and just stay bold while you do all of this. So yeah, let's go get it. And with all my strategy and care, I will see you next week, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you, take care, and bye.